I don't believe what I believe because it makes me money. I don't believe what I believe because it's popular. I believe what I believe because it's true. And when I say it's true, I mean it's true for all people in all places at all times. It accurately reflects the way the world is.
But introduce Jon Noyes, and he's going to do our next session, which is a role play. So I thought about just not telling you that. Let's just telling you that he used to be this, or not that he used to be an atheist, but that he is one, and he's our special guest. I thought about doing that, but we won't. And John's going to take us into this role play thing with known as an atheist encounter.
So I grew up an atheist, and as an experiment, as an experience, I like to kind of put on my atheist hat for you guys, and I'm going to role play pretty much how I was just 15 years ago. And I really want you guys to participate. The first time I ever did this, I'm just forewarning you, the first time I ever did this, I went in, and as Dwayne said, nobody knew who I was, and nobody knew what I was doing, so I was like just talking to people beforehand, and one of the guys kind of was charged with showing me around, being really a good host, getting me a cup of tea, asking if I was okay. Well, when I got up on stage and said that I'm an atheist, his demeanor completely changed towards me. and I will not know. At one point in the presentation, because I get pretty passionate and I get into it, and at one point in the presentation, he stood up and he says, "You know what, Jon? You're going to hell!" And he ran out of the back door. And then he, luckily for both of us, he's sitting by the back door on a seat there, and he heard at the end when I come out of the role play, and he came in with his hat in his hand, literally, and like he was so humble. But I want, the point is, why I'm sharing this with you guys is I want you to get involved and press back at what I'm saying. But I'm just going to say the stuff that I used to say to you as an atheist, and then tomorrow we're going to talk. Hopefully, I'm going to clean up any messes that I. You get on the board, or your pastor can do that on Sunday morning. So I know, but when I put this hat on, I'm going to be an atheist, and that's who I'm going to be. And I'm going to try to defend my atheistic positions, and I'm going to try to show you that I think Christianity is not worth believing, and we're going to go from there. Hey guys, how's it going tonight?
Awesome. Great.
Yeah, you know what? I just want to introduce myself really quickly to you. My name is Jon Noyes. I live in a little quiet suburb just north of Los Angeles, California. There are such things as quiet suburbs of the sprawl of LA. And I live there with my wife, and I have 4 daughters. You guys can be praying for me. 4 daughters. And I'm always impressed when a group like this asks me out to come speak. Because I have a confession just up front. I am very similar to you guys in almost every way, except for one big one. I am not a Christian. I'm an atheist. Now, I want to say up front, like, straight up, guys, I'm just a normal guy. You know, I don't eat babies. Some of you might think I like to torture animals for fun. That's not how I like to spend my Friday nights, Saturdays. I like to do what we're doing here. I like to talk about the big things of life. I like to talk about what I call the holy cow questions of the world around me. And I want to point out something that, like I said before, that we are all very similar. I just believe in one less God than you. Okay? And I think that there's good reasons to believe what I believe and not what you believe. Do you guys want to hear some of them?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I assume everybody here is Christian. Is everybody here Christian? Raise your hand if you're a Christian. Fantastic. Why do you believe what you believe? I'm going to say, who here grew up in a Christian home? Who here, well, I suppose most of us are older, so we didn't go to, none of us were homeschooled. Was anybody here homeschooled? Yeah, it's a new thing. But this is why we're Christian, guys, right? You're homeschooled. You guys grew up in Christian homes, and that's why you're a Christian. Basically, what I'm saying is, if you guys grew up in Tehran, right? What religion would you be? You'd be a Muslim, right? if you grew up in if you grew up in Egypt, what religion would you most likely be? You'd be Muslim, right? Now, if you grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah, what religion would you most likely be? Mormon, absolutely. And this is why ultimately I think we form beliefs about the world around us, and we ascribe to what we call a worldview. It's because it's how you were raised. And I don't think that you can know any real fundamental truth about religion. I think it's like this. Who here likes Pink Floyd? It's okay, guys. I won't tell you. Stand in back there, sinners. Yeah, I love Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd's the best band, I think. Who here, what's your favorite band? Soundgarden. Soundgarden. Oh my gosh, who's the lead singer? Chris Cornell was by far the best vocalist in rock history, right? Amazing. Now, would it make sense for anybody in this room to tell me I'm wrong about my opinion about who Chris Cornell was? He's the best. No, of course not, because I think he's the best. It's like, okay, my favorite flavor of ice cream is mint chocolate chip. So good, right? I mean, so good, right? Does it make any sense for one of you guys to tell me I'm wrong about that? No, absolutely not. There's always one. Are you married to him? Did you marry him? Yeah, troublemaker up here. No, of course it doesn't make any sense. Because it's a matter of personal opinion. It's all relative, and the same is true for religion. The same is true for religion. Do you guys like this idea? Do you agree with this?
No.
Why not? You did? He is dead. He is dead. I know, but that doesn't change the fact that he was one of the best vocalists of all time in rock history. He's unbelievable. And it's the same thing, like you guys are just talking about, the resurrection and all this stuff. And I want to make something very clear, guys. I don't want to rip your faith from you tonight. I just want to kind of challenge you a little bit on it. I'm happy that you believe what you believe. It's like, God, bless your heart. If it comforts you, if it makes you feel better, if it gets you through a hard situation, fantastic. But that's ultimately why you believe what you believe. You believe because you think there's something more to life. You think, it's your personal opinion, that this belief will get you through a trying circumstance. And by all means, do what you need to do. But you know what? Just stop forcing your values on me. Trying to put your Christianity into the schools and into the laws and everything. And just I think it's great that you're Christian as long as it stays on Sunday mornings and in your house. Just don't force your morals on me. Yeah.
What's your favorite sports team?
The Boston Red Sox.
Why?
Because they're the best team in baseball.
Okay, why? Is that just not a preference?
It is.
Okay.
Just like your Christianity. Why are you a Christian?
I think there's a difference here between facts and opinions. So every year, one of the ways that we determine what the best baseball team is through the World Series. And as much as you might like the Red Sox, they don't always win all the time.
They did awful this year.
Right. There is an objective truth of percentages that sports nerds will spend hours looking at, all the numbers of which teams are best at certain things, and that exists independently of your preferences for them. So you can have an opinion about the Boston Red Sox and think that they're the best.
So I have a quick.
prefer them, but they are not actually the best this year.
So Clark,
Yeah.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Does the best baseball team win the World Series every year?
Well, by one definition.
Yeah, exactly. By your definition, it sounds like you're saying by your opinion.
Well, okay. Factually, yes. If we're talking like definitionally, the best team is just the one that gets the World Series, or if you ran it enough times, because sometimes the winner gets caught at the bottom of the bracket. But there are statistical ways to show that one team is better than another.
Well, that's one way to show that one team's better than another. So you're saying that we can compare statistically,
Yeah.
right? What team? And I like this. I'm going to go this
Yeah.
statistically. What team One is I'm going to say, statistically speaking, Christianity doesn't prove itself out, but we can get to that in a minute, right? But you're also saying that just because a team statistically is better doesn't mean it wins the World Series.
Right.
Right. So when you ask me what is the best team in baseball,
There's two answers.
well, there's a lot of different answers. These are just two, right? It's the same thing, and a lot of it has to do with personal opinion. Because, for example, with baseball, I'm losing some of you with the baseball analogy, but because I like it. I've never heard this before, and I'm going to run with it. But so some people are going to tell me the best team in baseball is the one that wins the most and loses the least.
Right.
Who is the, according to that standard, who's the best team in baseball this year?
Houston. Unfortunately, I hate saying Houston, but it's
Yeah. Okay. Some people are going to say the best people in baseball are the ones that have the strongest pitching.
Yeah.
That's not Houston, I don't think. Some people are going to say, so this is what I'm getting at, is this,
Yeah.
there's always a qualification. And this is the same thing with religion, guys. It's the same thing. It's just a matter of personal opinion. You can use your facts, which is the best for you. But I just want to live in reality, the way the world really is. And I want to understand why you believe what you believe. And I just want to come to the truth of the matter and just say it out loud. I think if you guys did it with me, you guys would feel a weight lifted. Like it's a matter of personal opinion why you're a Christian. Most people in this room are Christian because they were raised Christianly. I was not raised Christianly, so I'm not a Christian. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't raised a Christian either, so that could explain why I'm a Christian. I think the error you're making is a categorical error.
A categorical error.
Categorical error.
Okay.
Putting religion into the category of preference. Like I prefer strawberry ice cream over chocolate ice cream. That's
Yes.
preference. There's another category of truth. It's either true or it's not true. Like with antibiotic, it either kills bacteria or it doesn't. It's not a preference.
Right, but so draw that out. I need to go a step further for you because I'm saying, okay, let's play this out. Then why is Christianity true?
Yeah,
That's kind of what I was getting at.
that's a
with the
big
baseball.
conversation, and there's a lot of subject.
Subjective
No,
components.
We've got historical truth that we look at. We've got logical truth that we look at. Scientific truth that we look at.
Yes, I agree. But it all comes.
None of those are preference. None of those are preference. They're truths in different topics, in different areas of study.
But me saying my favorite flavor of ice cream is true.
Well, that's-
Yes.
Is the goal here for us to persuade you, or are we interrupting your train of thought of what you were going to
Oh, there is absolutely no train of thought here. let's not be deceived.
That's how you became an atheist. We can I can lead you out of those woods.
Yes. No, I don't know if you can because I've looked at what you're saying are the facts. So you're saying facts and preferences are not the same thing, and that doesn't make sense to me. Because when I say, I'm going to stick with the ice cream thing because I think it's just more clear, and you can stick with the, what was it that that kills bacteria, a certain type of antibiotics, right? Right. Sure. I think, but when I say that mint chip ice cream is the best ice cream, I truly believe that. And for you to tell me that that's not true doesn't make any sense to me. And not only that, but I can demonstrate it because I eat lots of mint chip ice cream. So.
Preferences can change and truth doesn't change. Preferences, like your taste, it can actually,
True.
it can change if you have COVID.
No, but truth changes.
But no,
Of course it does. If you rewinded if you rewinded, people used to believe the Earth was flat.
Was it actually flat though?
Well, but people's perception of it were, and so it's the same thing. It's
you're betting eternity,
I think it's
your
donut shaped.
eternal destiny on what you narrowed down to a preference. I don't think that's a good bet.
well, I don't like to bet in general, and I don't think it's a bet. But there's also you're coming to the conversation
You're
right
betting
now.
eternity.
Is it Bill?
Yeah.
Bill, you're coming you're coming from a position, and you have a presupposition that your position is already correct, right? And you haven't demonstrated that for me. So I'm coming from
We
the.
haven't talked very much.
No, we haven't. So maybe you will. I mean, I'm open to it for sure. But I mean, you're coming saying my eternal existence is like, I don't even know what that means, to be honest with you. It doesn't mean anything to me. It's like, we don't have an eternal existence.
So you could die tomorrow, right? Or I could, either of us.
Any second, yes.
Yeah. So you could be on your last few breaths here, and I hope that's not the case. But if it is, people die every day, every second. You're finite, and you're either going to go, would you agree, probably into the ground and stay there and game over, it's done, or if my view is right, you're going to live forever somewhere. Now, you could be right, or I could be right. That's your preference point regarding ice cream. My preference, I was raised with a Christian mom, right? I was influenced by that, no question.
Yeah.
But I had to make a choice, and I'm just telling you, John, my choice was based on, hey, the stakes are pretty high here. I better figure it out. I better do some research. And the baseball analogy is a good one because the guy, you brought up.
I've read this book too. Does anybody knows what argument he's using against me? What argument is it? It's Pascal's wager.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read this too, and I understand that.
But it's
all basic.
Was thinking that.
Well, I mean, it's how you think something happens is substantial in your life. But I also know a lot of people who have experienced. I have a lot of Mormon friends, and they experience literally. They say, "I have a burning in my bosom," and the many times they've asked me, "Have you guys ever interacted with Mormons?" I mean, how many times they've said, they believe almost everything you guys do, and they say if you pray, you actually get a feeling in you, and I've never had that feeling, but my friends have. So you've had a feeling in you, and you've done all this stuff, and you've come to the conclusion that this is the best way for you. I don't think that is reflective at all of the truth of the world around us, though. I don't think actually what you're saying at all gives any evidence, proof, or argument towards the existence of anything that you're saying. Like you keep using the term like eternal destiny and eternal beings. And yeah, when I die, I'm dead. How do I know that? How do I know that? Because when you ask a dead person where he is, what's he say? That's right. He says nothing, and that's where I am. I'm nothing, but I'm okay with that. Guys, I'm not trying to I need to slow down because this is where I start offending people. I really do think it's fantastic that this gives you comfort. I really do. I think it's great. I do, because I have friends who actually are. See, that sarcasm is. I love sarcasm. I grew up in the East Coast. I love it. Yes, no, but it's like, I think it's great that you believe that way, but just because you believe that way doesn't make it so. And that's what I'm saying. And I'm a person that bases their beliefs, especially big beliefs, firmly on evidence. And if you can't prove it, empirically, then how do we know it's true, other than a matter of personal opinion?
What empirical evidence would you put forward for what you believe in? Actually, what do you?
I just offered. Yeah, that's a really good question. Thank you. Oh my gosh, so few people ever ask me that. She asked me how she could pray to become an atheist right now. she asked me what is it that I believe, and then what was the question right before that though? It was a good question too. What empirical evidence? I would say there's a lot of empirical evidence, and I just gave you a line of evidence because when we ask dead men what's after life, they say nothing. They stay dead. Dead people stay dead. There's zero evidence. Okay, fine. I believe that I'm what you'd call a naturalist, so I believe that everything that exists has come about by a purely physical process. So I think that we are. You guys are going to hate this. I believe that we are more evolved primates. We have. This is. She's laughing at me, but this is what every single biologist on the planet that writes on this subject believes. I mean, this is what science is showing us.
And that's his belief, and then there's a lot of evidence to speak.
No, because this is the difference. This is the difference. When Christians are saying this stuff to me, they are appealing to they're applying that they're assuming their worldview on top of stuff, like what was just happening with Bill, right? They're assuming this thing to be true. I'm just saying right now what I believe, and why I believe it is because we have shown that we have evolved from lesser beings.
Actually, I'm not assuming that there is, that you're gonna live forever and I'm gonna live forever. What I'm saying is, you're making a bet based on limited information. You have limited information, I have limited information. I can't prove to you that what I believe is true.
Hold on, okay, stop. What did you say?
I said a lot of words.
Right there, the last sentence. You can't prove to me what you believe is true.
Yeah.
That's my problem. Somebody prove that God exists. I mean, you ask me for evidence of what I believe.
You can't prove to our worldview that your scientific worldview.
Yeah, but my worldview of naturalism is more basic.
There's going to be faith involved at some point.
Both sides.
Faith in something that you don't have empirical data for.
No, I disagree. I don't need to blindly leap into anything. Yes. Is that Jeannie? Jeannie.
My next question was going to be, what evidence for what? What exactly are you asking about? Are you asking, does God exist? Did Jesus exist? Did he?
I believe Jesus existed. Yeah, I mean, if you want to try to show that God exists, that'd be great. Go.
Do it, Jeannie. Do it, Jeannie.
Somebody's pointing at somebody in the back.
Oh, this guy's impatient.
And that's Dwayne's wife, so I have to listen to Dwayne's wife. Yeah.
Hey, so just real quick, I was curious if you believe in personal truth and relative truth, as opposed to absolute truth.
I don't see a distinction. The only time that this distinction really comes up is when I speak to Christian philosophers, to be honest with you.
Okay. So
I
you
mean,
believe that
I
everyone is in the same, has agreements on everything, but everyone still has personal truth, essentially?
Yeah, I think oftentimes there's room for personal truth. I think that when it comes to ideas of religion, ethics, values, morals, I think those you can place pretty much firmly in the relativistic camp. This is kind of like what you were getting to too, a little bit more serious of a conversation here. But and theology certainly belongs in that realm. Because, and this is why, because you can't know it empirically. You can't.
But you can't know evolution empirically.
Of course we can.
No. Not even close.
How can you, talk to me, tell me how you can empirically know that evolution
Is a fact.
I'm talking across species. Like outside of a species, a duck can turn into a human or a dog or a snake.
But the duck doesn't turn into a human. That's not what I'm arguing for. Like this is another thing I get oftentimes when I'm in front of Christians. Is like you guys, this is character. You're erecting a straw man like this, and it's a caricature of my view. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's good reasons to believe through DNA discoveries. Through we witness evolution daily. Have you guys ever heard of this thing? It was called COVID-19. It was crazy. It was like this big pandemic that was happening. It affected most people. Well, now they have vaccines and stuff for it. And then the way that vaccines, oftentimes, not necessarily with COVID, because somebody in this room is waiting to say, that's not how the COVID ones work. I understand that. But the way that vaccines generally work, they mutate, and that is, and then all you can do is take those simple principles right there and you just extrapolate them over time. But if given enough time, it absolutely does. The very fact that we're standing here doing this shows that happens. Absolutely.
We don't see that in the fossil record.
We see, well, the fossil record's interesting because, well, we come from, the fossil record's not going to fossilize everything, right? So, well, it's not, because if it's soft tissue, it's not going to fossilize. Do you have a question?
Yes. Can you take your hat off,
You just want to see my beautiful head.
With your hat on, how do you categorize yourself, and how many different
how many different kinds of atheism is merely the position that there's no God.
So you don't categorize yourself as.
No, so the larger category for me is, I would say, a naturalist. I believe in naturalism, materialism. So what happens is sometimes we use all of these words interchangeably in our conversations. They don't always mean the same things, but for our purposes, generally they do.
So
Well, they do.
we should not break you up into a category.
He's a sinner.
You're a generic atheist.
Listen, I'll go anywhere you want to take me.
And so, how do you,
We're saying
where's,
he's not.
as an atheist, what's your moral compass?
I don't do bad things.
What's bad?
This is good. Yeah, it is. And this is this comes up every time too. I love this. But this again, we witness this as the world really, really, really is. I mean, we see this in this country. We used to think it was okay to own black people. Now we don't, because we've worked through that, and we've come to a cultural consensus that these things are actually wrong. Like they're wrong, so we don't do it.
Because you give such a weak answer about your morals.
How is that a weak answer? How is that any weaker than God says so? Like, okay, so we're going to appeal to a God of the gaps, and we're going to say, you know what, I can't explain this in a way that makes me feel good, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say some sky daddy told me. Which sky daddy? You know, which sky daddy? The one that you got raised in that house with. Okay, so because Muhammad, he believed in a different sky daddy, and they have different rules and principles. Are yours better?
So you basically navigate life by putting out your own navigations, your own movies in life, and so you triangulate your life based on what you think only.
Well, no, I think I also learn from other people's experiences, and I understand this, but this is, I mean, you might have me pegged. I mean, I am this hard-headed, and I learn things the hard way. I don't know, is anybody else like that in this room? You know, it's like I got to run into a brick wall 20 times before I tell you it's a brick wall.
So what brings meaning to your life?
I don't need meaning from my life. This does. The meeting with you fine folks on a Friday night brings meaning to my life. I don't know, whatever.
So you're like your own God. You create everything that you believe in, and you navigate based on.
I don't create everything I believe.
You navigate based on your own buoys in life that you triangulate to.
I tried. Yes, I think that's fair.
You think that's wise?
Yes. It's worked out really well for me. So, I mean, like, guys, I mean, this is something that Christians don't often. I hate to tell you, but I love my life. I have an awesome life. I have an awesome life. I make a ton of money.
So far.
I drive a Tesla.
So far.
I fly all over the world and talk to people like this. I love my life. I have a good life. I don't need to believe like you guys believe to have a good life. I enjoy my life. I'm a good dad. I'm a good husband.
Wonderful.
Like, I don't need God.
Wonderful.
I had a question.
Well, so far, this is like, know what that means to me from a non-believing perspective? This means what you're doing is like, gosh, I hope you die. This is you being nice, Bill?
Yes. I held that so far. But you say that you do everything based on evidence. Fine. Things you can see, things we can.
No, that's not what I've said. Not everything. Not everything. I mean, when I form major beliefs and stuff, yes. I mean, I think it does us all well to base major beliefs on what's provable.
Work with me, because I think you just tried to stick in my spokes. What I'm saying is, we're talking about atheism. We're not talking ice cream now. We're specifically talking atheism, and you based atheism on evolution and naturalism and the fact that it has to be empirical and you have to have evidence. Fine, great. Do you have all of the evidence available in the world? Let's say of all the information in the world that could support or deny the existence of a creator, do you have all that in your brain?
No, but neither do you.
Correct.
So
Neither of us do. You don't. I don't.
But it comes back to I know what you're trying to say here. I really do, and I appreciate it. Well, I really do. I appreciate it, though. but I just don't agree with you on this. Like I'm not the correlation between this being like a wager or a bet is not. I don't agree to those terms, and I don't think that's what it is. I think
I'm just working on evidence right now.
But I've followed the evidence where I've gone and where it's got me, and I'm waiting for more evidence. There was a question over here.
I had a question.
Wait! You can't yell out. You can't yell out. So you can be very contentious.
So,
There's something that track because we're going down the wrong track.
What's the right track?
The right track is like we cannot prove God, nor you cannot disprove God through empirical evidence.
Wait a second. Before I got up here and talked, somebody was telling me that you could because there was an empty tomb. That's empirical.
I mean, but that's historical evidence. It's something that we can test. Right? I mean, I guess the argument that I would make on is that you, whether you believe or not believe in God, it's just the life is with the moral value that you have and where you get it from. You just cannot base the life is just not practical based on which without having.
So wait a second. My life isn't practical based on my moral values.
Life is not practical based on the assumption that there is. I think. Well, I guess I would have to hear kind of what you believe in terms of moral values.
Right. I ascribe to the social contract, which is probably how you guys would describe it mostly, the social contract theory. I think any given society over history forms its moral systems,
Sure,
and then holds itself accountable to those things, and those systems change.
But yet we celebrate acts of bravery that goes beyond those contracts.
Well, kind of. I mean, the Muslim world celebrated acts of bravery when they flew planes in the towers.
Right.
But we don't.
But there are other. But yet we celebrate, right? Yet
I don't celebrate that.
No, not the act of terrorism, right? But there are things that we go beyond just mere contracts between two people.
Well, no, I think that what we do as a culture is we gather together and decide those things that we're going to celebrate. So we say that, okay, bravery is going to look like this in this culture, right? And that's what we're going to celebrate. And then you have other cultures and other societies that decide bravery looks like something completely different.
So would you say the set of beliefs that you have, set of moral values you have, should equal everyone within the society?
No, the majority.
Simply
And I don't know. So this gets into what's called Hegelian dialectics. So this gets into, and this is another evidence, and we don't have time to get into it, unfortunately. But this is another evidence for it. It's basically applying naturalistic evolutionary theory in the realm of cultural ethics, and we see it all over. This is what we witness in the world.
So you're talking about slavery earlier. So you're saying having slave used to be right, but not anymore? Or was it always wrong?
No, I'm saying that our culture used to think it was right.
But does that mean it is right?
Do you think it's right?
Clearly. I mean, this is what they did. So they thought it was right. You guys are proving my point here.
So what I'm saying is I believe that it used to be wrong and it's still wrong. And it was always wrong.
Except for when it was right and legal.
Legal doesn't mean right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no, but I mean, something as pervasive and extensive as Southern slavery in the United States, I mean, clearly that so many people owned slaves, clearly the culture believed that it was right, and they followed those morals until they got wise to it. This is Hegelian dialectics working itself out. There was somebody over here that got mad at me. Yeah.
no, I'm just saying you were going to.
Oh, you tricked me. I thought your shirt was going to say Virginia's for lovers. That's what the slogan is, and I was going to say you're
It's
a
a play on that.
Yeah, what's up?
So at least you saw that. So
Yes.
most people don't understand it.
I get it. I lived in Washington, D.C. for a really long time.
No, so anyway, I had a couple things, but I'll just ask.
Let's do
You
one.
mentioned you said slavery was okay at the time, but because they thought black people were not as evolved. So I just thought, what would be your view of zoos?
My personal view of zoos.
Well, I mean, monkeys are kind of in that area where they used to think black people were. So
Ooh.
monkeys are just humans, not quite evolved. So is it immoral to have zoos? Some people
Yes.
actually do, but I don't see anybody protesting. So
I do all the time. Didn't you just see that weren't there people who just glued their hands to a wall and threw soup on a
it had
painting?
nothing to do with zoos, though.
Well, they're animal rights stuff. Like
No,
it's
that
the
was
same thing.
oil.
Oh, it's oil. So, but I mean, all the time I see protests. I mean, I go to Santa Barbara Zoo every once in a while with my kids for a field trip, and I see people protesting outside of Santa Barbara Zoo. Not crowds, but no, I think zoos. I think that I don't think we should have zoos.
But the moral consensus right now is that zoos are okay, because that's the majority of people trying.
Yes, and hence zoos exist.
So where do you get that guidance from?
I feel it in the pit of my stomach, the burning in my bosom. It's bad pizza. I don't have any good pizza. Okay, is it 6:15? I'm done. Okay, I got 5 minutes. Okay. This is the hard part. I have to. I'm so sorry, but wait, is there somebody? Yes.
I would like to say something.
Hi, Helga.
Because your kind thesis is all over and all around us. And I have no college education. And so I won't even start to argue with you, because you win every time. But you know what I
You
know?
are so wise. I need you to give my wife. I'm going to give you my wife's phone number. And you can chat with her.
So, but there is someone that is my God, who is a miracle maker, and I don't have to argue with him because he's the best initiator of conversions I've ever seen. And so I will engage you till I know about where you are, so I know what to pray for. You're a hopeless case, but every area is covered for prayer with you. So then I would say, that's all very interesting. Want my phone number? You know, an old woman can ask that. And though I say goodbye, I might not even say God bless you loud. But I will say it in my mind. And I'll say, look at this poor soul, Papa. He has been created by you, and he's going to run straight into a wall. He thinks he's so smart. And so I will pray for you. I'm not a prayer warrior, so whenever you come to my mind, I'll pray for you. But you, dear atheists, say that the dead cannot speak. There are people in other countries who, through prayer, were raised from the dead.
These are always in other countries. Do you guys realize that they're
Yeah,
always
you
in
know
other
why?
countries? I've seen
You
those
know
videos
why?
on YouTube too, and they're just
Mr.
like,
Atheist, you know why? Because our faith is so thin, and there are countries where the faith is so thick that God is really honored the way he wants to be honored. And then he shows that he can raise the dead.
yeah, Helga,
And that's
you know
all
what?
I want to say.
I would-
And I'm not.
Helga, you know,
I know you're not an atheist, but if you would be, I would be exactly what. I would do
Whatever
exactly
you
that.
mean, Helga.
Because all my intelligence, and I'm not dumb, I know a lot compared to others, but I can't use that against you.
Yeah.
And why would I go in a fight with you when I have a God who has already won?
Helga, as an atheist, you know what I would say to everything you just said? I'd say thank you so much. But I'm still.
You wouldn't know what to thank me for because I was silent.
No, no, I know what to thank you for is the stuff that you verbalized to me, and like people have offered to pray for me on many occasions, and that's fantastic. Like if you want to talk to somebody who doesn't exist, I talk to people who don't exist all the time.
I know your answer. I
So.
didn't say I'll pray for you. I never did.
Oh, you didn't. That's right. Okay. So I have to take this hat off. Hallelujah! Yeah, no, you know, the reason why I like to talk about this and do this exercise, especially at the onset of what the dead was raised. The dead has been raised, and they will be raised again, you know, and the reason why I like to do this type of presentation at the onset of a conference, kind of like what we're going through, is I like to think about, let me ask this question. how do you guys think you did? On a scale of like 1 to 10, like 1 is, and there's 2 parts to this, okay? There's 2 parts. The first part is like, how did you answer my arguments? Like you guys, like you had me. Like, you know, it's really great because I have the microphone. So I can just be like, yeah, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. So, but like, you know, like, how on the arguments, how do you guys think you did on a scale from like 1 to 10? Okay, 1 is like over here, and it's like, you guys are awful, and now you're a bunch of atheists. And then 10 is like way over here, where you guys completely crushed me, and I'm like totally repentant, and I'm a Christian. Like, what do you guys think you did? 5, 4, 1? Oh, you guys are really hard, too. I would say I'd say some of you guys spoke up, you brought some good stuff. I'd say 6-ish, 7-ish. You know, but keep in mind also, like I said before, that I have the microphone, so I control a lot of that. Nobody ever does a 10. Nobody ever does higher than really a 7 with me, because I can change the subject, I can change the topic, I can ditch it, I can throw smoke in your wheels or whatever.
And there's we have to like share our part of it.
Yeah.
Like it's not just one-on-one.
Exactly, it's not just one-on-one, it would go differently. But hold on, let me ask this next question, I'll come to you. The next part of this is, how did you do? And you can't we can't answer this all together corporately, but like, how were you guys feeling inside? Like, was anybody inside like, I just want this guy to go away? But every time I do this, I feel that way inside. Like, I just want to go away. Was there anybody here that was kind of like sweating it and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to answer that? Or was there, I assume that most of us in this room weren't super confident the entire, like, dude, you're such an idiot. I know how to handle that. I know how to do that. They cause questions. Well, for the majority of us, I think, and I know this because I do this all over the country to big audiences and small audiences, and I know this because most of the people would say that they had a sense in their stomach or in their, whatever you want to say, in your mind or your heart or whatnot, of kind of like anxiousness. I'm not saying that it was like it's bad. This is a good thing. This is what we feel. But then what happens is oftentimes the anxiousness has us yelling out, getting sometimes loud with each other, even when you know I'm not a Christian. And what I'm getting at is because I think that oftentimes we as Christians just simply aren't prepared.
No, this was very thoughtful. You know what I mean? It's like,
I appreciate that.
this is good stuff.
I have a fun time doing it. It's getting harder and harder for me to do. Guys, like, but this is
faces more and more and more, like every day.
well, this is the stuff. Also, just keep in mind, like this is exactly how I would have talked to you as an atheist. If I found out that you were a Christian, I would have been like, can I please take you out to lunch? Can I please take you to coffee? Because I literally had it in my mind that I wanted to crush you, and I wanted to take your faith.
Just like Paul.
From you, yeah.
Specifically to Christians or anybody who doesn't believe in the gospel?
Specifically to Christians, because it was honestly so easy. If I'm being honest with you guys today, when I would speak to Christians before I was a Christian and do this, most of the time I didn't like convince most of them that God doesn't exist, but I would get to the point where they would just leave. They would be so mad, and I would keep a calm, level head, and that's how I won.
Why did you do that? Why would you seek out Christians?
Because I thought Christians were stupid, and I thought that they were actually like bad. Like I thought that Christians, it's a narrative that we're seeing today.
It's their moral compass.
It's everything that comes along with the, like if you were, like what I said before, I meant if you were a Christian and it was in your house and on Sundays, fantastic. For crying out loud, homeschool all you want, even better. Then my kids don't have to interact with you. That's the way I felt.
But no public square.
Can I say something?
But no public square. Keep it out of the public square because it's dangerous, and that's what I would have said. And I would say the Christian worldview is dangerous. My brother and my sister, when I talk to them about Christianity today, we have these conversations all the time. As often as they'll let me talk to them, they get super sick of me, but like not in a bad way, you know, because we have answers, and our answers are better.
Yeah.
They're better, and they know it. So my brother and sister, they call me deluded. My brother's favorite word for me is deluded. You're deluded. And I'm like, okay, the conversation's over. Yeah.
So I was an atheist. I was not raised in a Christian home, and I loved to do that, to debate with Christians, and we're going way back because I've been a Christian now for over 50 years.
Whoa.
but I wanted them to challenge, I wanted them to prove me wrong.
And did they? Could they?
They couldn't.
Yeah.
And of course, because it's a matter of faith, you have to.
Well, let me press back at this a little bit because I think there's good reasons. I don't like the word faith, guys.
Yeah.
I like the word trust. The word faith entails this blind leap. I don't believe, and we can end on this because we have got dinner and stuff like this going on, guys. And trust me, I'm going to go long every time. So you're going to get tons of me. And any questions that you guys have, two things clear. Let me start with this. I don't believe what I believe because it makes me feel good. Guys, I used to work at some of the best law firms in the country. I worked at 3 law firms over my 15-year career in the legal, and the best. The best. I used to actually make money. You know, I don't believe what I believe because it makes me money. I don't believe what I believe because it's popular. I believe what I believe because it's true. And when I say it's true, I mean it's true for all people in all places at all times. It accurately reflects the way the world is. So sometimes when we use the word faith, I think that there's really, faith is a component. The Bible talks about faith. Faith of a mustard seed, right? Yes. And so faith is important. I'm not saying it's not important, but trust. I trust God based on good reasons. Good reasons to believe. So with that, guys, I'm going to relinquish it over to Dwayne. Thank you guys so much.